There's nobody here to care about everything checking out. You know that? There's really not. There's nobody here to really care about everything checking out and fitting somewhere at all. That mind organization, it just kind of, sometimes it comes up, falls, it rises and it falls, and it's just, and then all of a sudden it's just the birds again, and it's just the hat again, and it's just the trees moving. Love trees. Oh, they look so cool. Looks like one big it is one big breathing picture. Oh, another day. Same hat. Different day, same hat, same day, all the same fucking thing. I don't know. The birds. These fucking birds. They got it, man. They understand. They get it. These birds fucking get it. These birds are cool as shit. Alright? There's no trying to fit somewhere. There was a little bit at first, like when I would make these, there was this like need for like non-dual correctness. So like never using like I or me or experience or happen, you know, like what can anybody really say? You could say nothing's happening and you could preach a whole sermon and they mean the same thing. You could talk about non-duality and what it means. And it means the same thing as the birds chirping. Or somebody talking about how there's really duality and there's really wrong and right. There's really a person here, like. So there's no trying to fit into even like some non-dual lingo for the sake of accuracy, because what is accuracy with any of this? Really? What is accuracy with any of this? What is accurate? To say this has nothing to do with religion or trying or whatever, it's just as wrong as it is right, because all those things have everything to do with this, even if this has nothing to do with anything. So there's no trying to fit somewhere. There's no trying to look right or wrong. There's still telling people that I don't, there's no just trying to accept people I don't want to talk to coming on my page. I still tell people that they're free to get the fuck off my page, because it's true. You really are. You're really, really free to just fuck off. You're really free to just fuck off, man. Dude. And I'm free to say man and dude and fuck off as much as I want. How cool is that? How bitchin' is that? This is like when 11 started using the word bitchin'. That's what this feels like. It's fucking bitchin'. So there's no sense of needing to fit anywhere. And I think even when there's like this super, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think even with this whatever need to just try to keep defining this thing that can't be defined or described, it's like the mind is still just, fucking know. There used to be so much care here about being smart and being seen as like so sane and like somebody people want to take advice from, and somebody people look up to, and whatever. Like, just, it was so serious here. Look at these birds, man. They just got life all figured out. These fucking birds just got it all figured out. And we're sitting here stressing about credit. Oh. Yeah, there used to be a need to come off a certain way. And that's a funny thing. I think everybody wants to come off every way. You want to seem like the smartest. You want to seem like the most empathetic. I'm an empath. I'm an empath and I feel your emotions. Whatever. Cool. That's cool. I mean, that's bitchin'. That is bitchin', friend. It's just none of that anymore. How could you be, the smartest, the most empathetic, the most whatever? I think when you're trying to be anything, maybe you succeeded at it. Maybe you become really smart. I don't know, maybe you do. Maybe you learn a lot of stuff and you become real smart, and or spiritual or emotional or whatever. It's almost like you can't have everything though. If you become super smart, some area of life seems to like lack. Like the balance is just like, all right. And what do I know? Maybe that's not right. Maybe somebody just feels they have it all together. Like their relationships are all in order. And they're just like, every time I see these birds, it's like when Rick met Noob Noob. It's like, Noob Noob. That's what these birds are to me. They just fucking get it. These birds get it. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not. Maybe no. But I don't know. I don't know anything really. But it just seems like that. Like, you get real financially good, your relationships suffer or something like that, and they're not good enough. Or you get like your relationships good, your finances suffer. Or you feel super smart. You feel thrown out of empathy or whatever. I don't know. Really, this is just the same sound as the crickets coming out of my mouth. There's no accuracy to anything, and it's so funny to me. To me, it's like a joke because I used to care so much about accuracy in particular. It was a lot about what other people thought, and I wanted people to see me as like real smart. Real smart, like a deep thinker, like I thought so much. What a hell. What an imaginary hell, that deep thinking, that depthy thinking. Deep hell. Oh, yeah. To be able to reason and explain and intellectualize this stuff. Why? Why? For the sake of why? I don't know. Do I think I'm accurate? No, nothing I say is accurate. Nothing I say is accurate. Everything I say is still just a concept, no matter what I say, so whatever. Or what I feel, or whatever. Who can judge it? Really, who can judge it? This is just birds. Who is the one judging it? Is it the non-dual police? You good, buddy? I think he hates me. Am I on your turf? I'm not gonna lie, you're intimidating right now. But I'm also scared. I'm not. I think he's choking. But yeah, I just don't see the point. What's the point in stressing over accuracy and in judging stuff? Like we know something. Who's the one judging? For the Christian that comes here, is it the blasphemous God in your head that thinks it knows what's wrong and right and correct and incorrect? Is it Pastor John? Whatever, as far as I'm concerned, I am both opposites that aren't really here. It's really not here. Nothing's really happening. It's so simultaneous. There's no like, this is what heaven feels like, you know? And again, this could be accurate in here. What do I know? What do I know and what do you know and who's the questioner and who's the one answering and asking and whatever. This is just talk coming up, but there's really no, this is what heaven feels like. This is just heaven. There was a thought before, it's like, I used to watch a lot of, I did a thing about angels, where I even witnessed angels. It's a funny thing. Had like, you know, some experience where I believe that I saw what people would call Archangel Michael. It was amazing. It was a long time ago. And then I used to have more experiences like that. I used to have this thing about angels and heaven and past life things and other side stuff. All this interest in like the other side. I think everybody does. It just doesn't always look like, doesn't always form in people's brains or in people's minds, or doesn't always form, whatever, as heaven or angels. Sometimes it looks like something different. But there always used to be that. There used to be this like interest in it. Big interest in it. Like, what'll it be like? So I'd look up like near-death experiences, and people would explain, they're like, oh, you know, it was just perfect. You know, and say like every blade of grass looked like super defined, and it was just perfect. And it's always been perfect. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's just awe. You thought it was some other dimension or something. And you thought that you were made out of something different than angels were made out of. You thought you were made out of something different. that it was somewhere different or some different point in time, or that the story was that at some different point in the universal time or whatever that you get there and all your cares are gone and whatever. And it's been right under our nose, right in our backyard. Not even. That's just where I'm at right now, but yeah, it's amazing. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's just awe. You didn't have to be anything or do anything, and nothing had to mean anything. Heaven didn't have to mean anything. You think heaven means some victory. We'll get biblical again. That make Pastor John mad. You think getting to heaven looks like winning some war between some fucking entity and some other entity for your soul. That whole thing's a story. That's just a story. I don't think the Bible's like instructions. The Bible's just the story of this. The story of the dream. The story of the human condition. But heaven's always been you and me and the grass, and none of it. And it had nothing to do with a little visit from Archangel Michael or all my little things. I used to think those things felt so special. You feel so special and so unworthy and so whatever. Or maybe worthy, like they picked you or something, that you're having these experiences or whatever. Just find out everything's made up out of the same thing. And those experiences are just as real as what's happening here. Not at all. Not at all. It's just Archangel Michael's just as real as that bird. Or the trees behind me, or the playground, or whatever. And that it's all make-believe. That it is all make-believe, but somehow experiencing whatever. And this isn't sadness, friend. It's not sadness, it's like awe. It's just awe. You know, when I was a teenager, shit was tough. Things were tough. I remember that. And there was like this feeling like I wasn't, crazy stuff. Like feeling like I'm an alien or whatever. And just like that I wasn't built for life. Like I was in a daydream. Oh yeah, I was always stuck in my daydream. And sometimes I failed at doing regular shit. I think I fucked up my first couple jobs, and it was like, this is just so simple, just why can't I just do regular things, and how am I gonna survive? And I used to go walk at night. And ooh. And I would look up at the stars and like, I know. There was this, I know that I came from there or something or whatever. It felt like a knowing. It felt like a knowing, it really did. And I used to just cry. Like it was a feeling of I just want to go back home. It's crazy. It's really fucking crazy because home's always been right here. Home was already me thinking I wasn't home or that it was somewhere else or whatever. So it's not sadness. There's some sadness that comes up in the memory because I think remembering how that felt just so separate from everything, so alien. Like it used to feel like somebody plopped me on this like planet and there was nobody else that could relate, and this was just stories. It was really just stories, and that wasn't the truth. I think everybody feels like that a little bit, but I just used to feel so incompetent and shy and had no confidence, and I felt like I had no whatever, and I felt so separate. And that's the thing, the human desperately wants to, it thinks that it wants something to go home. It thinks that it wants to go home. It's almost like a child having a dream that it's lost, but really the child is in the bed at home the whole time. But the human thinks that what it wants looks like a relationship or a specific person. The human has this very specific idea of what happiness looks like and freedom looks like and love looks like, and that moment where you could say and you could finally breathe. The human has such a specific idea of that, and it daydreams about that, not realizing that the daydream itself is the gap that it thinks is there. The daydream itself is the gap between it and everything else, and it's just a daydream. Really what the human wants is to seamlessly feel like a part of everything. It just wants to be seamlessly embraced. It just wants to feel seamlessly a part of everything. It just wants no more gaps. Really, no matter what human you are, you just don't want to feel separate from anything. That's why people go out in nature. That's why people search. That's why people honestly do anything that they do. Is they just want to close the gap. The pursuit of happiness is never happiness. It will never be happiness. But the pursuit of happiness is the self. It is the human condition. And the human condition is just a story that's allowing me to look like a separate me with a personality, with a preferences, with opposites, things I don't like, people I don't want to be around, people I do want to be around, everything like that. So yeah, it's always been right here. It's in the tears, and it's in the anguish, and it's in the birds, and it's inside. It's not even inside. That's to say that it's bound up in those things. It's not. These things are bound up in it. It is bound up in freedom, bound up in heaven, bound up in birds, bound up in hats, bound up in wind and stuff. Like, It's always been this, and sometimes it's just awe. Complete awe. What else can there be? What else can be said? What can be said at all? There's no accuracy. There's no accuracy. There's no need to be smart. There's no need to be good. There's no need to be anything. There's no requirement. There's no requirement. This just is what it is. It's innocence. Innocent little kid dreaming that it's lost when it's in bed, safe. The insecurity of life is security. That's what it is. It is security. People think that if there's no safety blanket stretched out, that's the dream, is that if there's no safety blanket stretched out, that they're gonna hit the floor and crash. So everything becomes a safety blanket. You become a safety blanket for yourself and for others. This idea of a you. The safety blanket is just as much of a dream as the ground is. There's no ground to fall if you're falling. It's just... It's not even falling, it's like floating. Like flying, I don't know. There's nothing I can say. There's really nothing I can say, it's just under your nose. The human just wants to seamlessly feel a part of everything. That's what the self wants. It really wants that, no matter where you're looking or how you're trying to achieve that. You just want to feel like a part of everything, like you're not separate from all that there is. You just don't want there to be any more gaps or distance. The gap is the wanting. And the gap is the dream. And how could you have ever been separate? The waking up or the awakening is just it hitting every whatever. There's not even anything here. Like, it feels like it hitting and resonating with every fiber of your being or whatever. Just not even the answer, just the how could I have ever been separate from everything? Right? It's not even the answer, it's the question, and the question feels like the answer and vice versa. Even you feeling like you're separate is already everything, is already seamlessly everything. It's not everything else in you. It's not everything else in you and your problems and your story and blah. No, that is included in everything. That is seamlessly a part of everything, even if it feels like a mess and rejected within your story, like you reject all of this stuff. It is seamlessly a part of everything, seamlessly accepted and embraced in everything as it comes up, without decision or thinking it over or whatever. It's just already happening. We spend our lives trying to build ourselves up into someone. I want to be someone special. I want to do something special. We spend our lives trying to build ourselves up into a someone. Trying to make a good story, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's really not. It's beautiful. But we do it because we think if we make a good enough story, whether it looks like having a good enough partner or looks like doing something great with your life, I don't know, or making $1 million or more than that or whatever, becoming famous, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with wanting to create a good story. It's just we think a good enough story gets us right here, right now. We think a good enough story closes the gaps. The gaps that aren't really there. Where are the gaps? Man. These fucking birds really just get it. They really get it. We're so silly. We're so silly, dude. We think that, I think there's all this pressure. If there's a God or higher purpose, we think he's like, all right, you gotta do what you gotta do. He or she or whatever. Fuck it. I don't believe in any of that, but we think it's like, you gotta do this or I'm gonna ground you to hell. You're gonna get grounded to hell. Or somebody's watching, or there's some higher self to make proud, and that your higher self is like looking at you like, okay, well, you know you have to do this. Like, you have to do this right now. My boobs are booping today. All right. We have to be like, oh, yeah, there's stuff that you have to do. Remember, this is your divine path. Your ancestors are watching you very closely, okay? And there's things you have to do, okay? It's very serious business for a very serious reason. Oh, there's a cute dog. We really think that. It's more like those of you that like children. Have you ever chased a kid around? You ever just chased a kid around? Not in an angry way, but like playing. Like when you play. And it's just laughing and it's just, boo, I got you. That's more what life is like. It doesn't mean you don't fall off the couch every once in a while. That life is more like, I'm gonna get you. With that happy face on, and there's no thought or anything. And then it gets you and you run away. It gets you and it grabs you and it scoops you up and it munches on you and does all the little lovey things on you. That's more what this feels like. Except there's no parent and no child. It just is what it is. That's just all energy. No energy is just energy. No soul, just soul. it just feels like that. It feels like that. And it's in everything. It feels, and it's like that or whatever. There's no accuracy to anything that I say. There could never be. And there's no checking what I say. There's no need for this to all check out, like I said, because what is what's being referenced for things to check out? That nothing exists and nothing's right or wrong or whatever? Who cares? This just innocence, man. No matter how many times I use the word fuck or wear a 666 necklace or whatever. It's not on today, but this is just pure innocence. And it doesn't stop at my skin. My skin. It doesn't stop at skin or whatever. There's no border of a body or anything that it's trapped in. It's just this. It's just this, and it's so funny, and it's so mischievous, and it's so light. It's delightful. It's so light-hearted. And it makes me cry because it used to feel so heavy. And all of this is just a story, and even now it's just stories like it was before. But there's nobody here. And it's just light. It's weightless. Like what once was just so heavy is just so weightless. And it's always been that way. Weight was a dream. Weight was a really bad dream, I guess. I don't fucking know. It's so sad. So weightless. So effortlessly life already. Try to make a good life and avoid a bad life and like whatever. And there's so much effort trying to make a good life and avoid what you think is a bad life. And life is just already effortlessly life without some concept on it. How crazy is that? Look at these birds. Look at these birds. They know. A life is just life. Without all the weight and without all the whatever. It's effortlessly life without you trying. Like look at the see just everything around, like all the green. Nobody keeps that up. There's no effort for any of that to exist or whatever. It just is existing and not. Not, I guess, but what do I know about any of that? What do I know about non-existence? Everything that's appearing here is just existence itself. It's just one appearing as all these fractions. But really, it just keeps itself afloat. It just takes care of itself. We think we know. We think we know so much. We think that we think enough, we're smart enough, that we are capable enough and strong enough and whatever, and serious enough. What do I care about being taken serious? as a non-dual speaker, as a person in general. Liberation. We think that if we get it all together, like, that we'll know life is good. Like, that's security. Even if you do become super secure, it's almost like the mindset of needing to be secure just takes over. There's always something more to do. There's always effort to live life. This is already effortlessly alive. With or without you. We could say without you, with or without you, with and without you, whatever. This is already effortlessly life. Oh, and no amount of I agree or I disagree or I see it or I don't see it doesn't make you any less of the kid getting chased around, getting caught and snuggled up. No, it doesn't. Oh, nope. No matter how much depression and I'm sad and dumb doesn't stop you. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, there's never been anything serious about it. Oh, there's never been anything serious about it. We're all a little delusional. We're all a little bit delusional. You know that? Because we're illusions ourselves. Who really knows what's real and what's not? Correct and incorrect and how to go about whatever. Who's got an answer for you? You don't want an answer. Silly, you want this. You don't want an answer, silly. You want what's already here. Wake up. Bad dream. Bad trip. Bad dream, bad trip. There's nobody to wake up and there's no dream to wake up from, but it's already right here. Whatever. Whatever. I don't care about being non-dually correct. It's just like the birds. Every non-dual, I'm gonna try to make this make a sense, and my non-dually correctness is really just the same sound of a bird shitting. Oh yeah, it's really just that. How could it ever be different? That's a pretty good description, like bird shitting. They shit and it's the same sound, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty dope. So yeah, enjoy your life.